Right now, I'm pleased to welcome Alessia Cara to Studio Q. Hello.
Hi.
Congratulations on your success, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Your first solo record out this week. 99% of Canadian musicians release their first record with a lot less anticipation than there is for this one. How do you deal with that expectation?
I mean, I don't even know. I think you just got to do it. And I think I'm confident enough in this music to put it out, and I'm proud of it. And I think it's not really pressure anymore. I think because the stuff has been done. A lot of the songs were done 2 years ago. So the pressure of it, I think, is kind of gone for me. I'm just more eager to put it out rather than feel pressured or anything like that.
And do you have to work at that? Do you feel any kind of moments come on where you're anxious about what if they think this or what if it doesn't go that way? Or are you just trying to stay in the moment?
I'm really, trying to stay in the moment.
And
obviously,
how do you do
as
that?
an artist, it's hard because as an artist, you're attached to your music, and if someone says something negative, it sucks. And you obviously want people to like what you put out. It's like your heart, in 10 songs. So of course, but I think, I don't know. You just gotta remember that, at the same, as much as you make music for other people, like to help other people or to inspire other people, you're also making it for yourself. And if you like it and if you're proud of it, then it doesn't really matter if people think about it.
That sounds like you're coming from a pretty grounded place. I want to talk a little bit about the place that you come from. You come from Brampton, just up the road from where we are now in Toronto. How would you describe life for you growing up in Brampton? What was your life like?
It was pretty normal, to be honest. I mean, Brampton is a pretty quiet, pretty chill place. I grew up in a neighborhood where there weren't a lot of kids my age, so I spent a lot of time in my room because there wasn't a lot of kids to play with or much to really do in my area. And then when I wasn't at home, I'd just be at school, riding my bike around the park, some regular childhood stuff.
What did your parents think of your interest in music?
They supported it. I think, as a kid, you don't really, I guess, you enjoy something, but it's not really something to worry about. But then once you get older, you start to say oh, I really want to take this seriously. And that's when it becomes more of a concern, for the parents to be like, okay, how serious do you want to take this? But as a kid, I just loved it and they were supportive of it. It's not
because I read that your mom was super encouraging and your dad was the one who had more concerns around you taking this seriously.
Yeah. So that was when I started getting older and I started saying, well, I want to really pursue this. This isn't just a hobby. I really want to do this and I don't want to go to school. So you can imagine what that was like for parents to hear. But my mom, I guess, had a feeling. She says that, she knew I was going to do it anyway, so she was supportive of it. And my dad, it took him a while. He was more on the, get a plan B side or use music as a plan B side. But I think as he realized that I was really serious about it and that it was possible, he was like, all right.
Well, I'm not sure at what point those conversations took place, but at one point, you were 13 when you started posting videos to YouTube and you played covers at that time of popular songs. Take us back to, when you weren't such a polished pro. Why did you first start that YouTube channel? What did you think you were doing? What was up for you there?
I was always really scared or shy to sing in front of people. And that was the biggest fear. But I also wanted to pursue this as a career. So you could imagine how those things clashed. And I needed to find a way to get out of that fear, get rid of that fear. And so my mom was like, why don't you post online, maybe on Facebook, so you can sing for your friends and family on camera, but you won't have to be in front of them. So I was like, all right. So I did that. I started first on Facebook, just for friends and family. And that was very scary. Just the fact that my friends and family could find out that I could sing was scary. But I did it, and it was great feedback. So I moved to YouTube, and I said, let me start doing it for the public to see what the public has to say.
The whole thing is so scary. We talk constantly about the world that teens have to navigate online and the social pressures that not only exist for you now in the real world, but in the virtual world. The bravery it takes to put yourself out there doing something so personal online. Did you know then that you were being so brave?
Not really. To be honest, I thought I was just cheating my way through it because I was like, haha, I don't have to sing in front of people. I can just do this. So for me, it was an easier way because if you asked me to sing in front of you, it would be I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So to me, that was just practice for me, and it was a way to get used to it. And then I actually did get used to it. And once I started posting frequently, I started simultaneously doing open mics at school and talent shows, and I really got comfortable with being in front of a crowd.
Did you have dreams of being discovered? I mean, even online, because, that's famously Justin Bieber's path to stardom was having his YouTube videos discovered. Did you have dreams that somebody, that what would happen did happen, or did happen would happen? Did you have dreams that someone would see them, the right person would see them?
I guess so, but it took about 3 years for me to actually get noticed on there, for anyone to really watch me. So at that point, I was like, okay, no one's going to see these anymore. I don't even know why I'm doing this at this point. But I did get a little following, a couple people would watch them, but I was definitely not in the Justin Bieber world where he had billions of views, and, it wasn't like that. So I didn't really expect it. And yeah.
But it's interesting because, your musical trajectory, your career's trajectory and your discovery literally couldn't have happened 20 years ago. I know you've said that YouTube is your first love. What do you mean by that? Is that because it's such a significant part of how you got to do what you do now?
Yeah, I think it is. It's the first thing that I really committed to and dedicated a lot of my time to. I would set up after school, set up my camera, get ready, lay my camera out on things and just sing. And that was the thing that I would just dedicate my time to, even though not a lot of people watched. I would still do it, and I would get excited to do it. And I enjoyed it. It was the first thing I actually really committed to and enjoyed.
All right, so tell me the story, because things really picked up for you when you covered Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood. So can you tell the story of what happened there?
Yeah, so it was just, again, regular cover day. I decided to do it. And usually I wouldn't really plan what covers I would do, or I wouldn't really plan when I would want to do covers. I would just kind of decide to do it one day. So that's what happened. I just got the urge to do a cover, and I was like, which song should I cover? So I'd been listening to the song Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood. I listened to it a few times. I liked it, and I thought, let me try to cover it. So I didn't even think I got all the lyrics right. I was just so new. I just started listening to it, but I propped up my camera in my mom's washroom, my parents' washroom, and I just started singing it with my guitar, and it started getting more views than usual, which was really weird. And every time I would refresh the page, there'd be more views every day, and it was weird for me because I wasn't used to it. And then, it still didn't go viral, but someone still happened to see it, and they were this production company called EP Entertainment. And then, long story short, they got in contact with me through my Twitter, I think. And at this point, I was 17, or I just turned 17. It was my 17th birthday. And they flew me and my dad out to New York, sang for them, and that's how I started. That's how everything kind of started.
Wow.
Yeah.
You lived a lot of people's dreams. All right, so let's talk about your first single from this new album. It's called Here, and it became huge. And you even got to perform it live on stage with Taylor Swift at her concert. What was that like? Singing with one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
Yeah, that was amazing. She is so nice, and she made me feel so comfortable, which really helped a lot, especially because I was obviously so nervous. And I just did it, and I just remember blanking out and just doing it, and then getting off and crying for no reason because I was just so overwhelmed. And it was an amazing, amazing experience. It was the best weekend ever.
You were backstage after performing with Taylor Swift, and you were crying.
Yeah.
Just because the emotions just came out all at once.
Yeah, and the thing is, I performed with her. I got off stage, and then I watched the rest of her concert fine. I was singing along all normal. And then the second I got backstage when it was over, all the adrenaline, I guess, went away. And I just started crying. And I was like, why? It was only 2 seconds, though, because I still have to be hardcore. So I wiped the tears away, and I kept going.
And keep on going?
Yeah.
These are extraordinary experiences for anybody, never mind, Canadian teenager from Brampton.
Yeah.
It would be easy for all this to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
So what you talk about being hard, wipe the tears away. What tell me about that. How do you fight against being overwhelmed by all of this?
Sometimes you find it in you to not be, and then sometimes you don't find it in you. And then sometimes you have to be overwhelmed and you need to take a second. And that happens all the time. It's very overwhelming. I'm not even going to lie and say that, it's so easy for me. It's difficult. It's overwhelming. It's scary. But, some days it feels better than others. But you just have to keep going. If it's what you want, you have to make a decision and you have to keep going. And it is what I want. So I have to just suck it up and figure out a way to figure it out. I don't know.
How did you know that you were ready to take this on? I mean, and I was like, and I guess that's something you probably have to check in and ask yourself each time the next enormous opportunity comes along.
Yeah.
How do you know you're ready for these steps?
I guess there's no real way to know. You just have to go through it. And then if you're still alive on the other side, then you're like, okay, I guess I was ready for that one. Let's try the next one. That's how I figured out. I just do it. And I'm surprising myself, to be honest, a lot of the times when I look in retrospect, like at what I did, I would have never thought that I could do that. And then I do it and I blank out. I just go for it. And then I realize after, like, how did I just do that? You know what I mean? It's such a crazy thing. I guess adrenaline is just on my side.
I want to talk about your musical direction. I said in the introduction, there's a large helping of soul on this record. Tell me about your interest in that direction musically.
I was always interested and fascinated by like soul singers and soul music. I think it's great, like jazz, and whether it's old school soul or like new neo soul. Like there's this cool vibe of neo soul that I really like Leanne LaHavis. She's a really interesting artist. Yeah, I was always into that sound, and I always thought that my voice was like that naturally, and I gravitated towards that kind of music, I guess.
Amy Winehouse, you've talked about her being a real influence.
Yeah, I love her. She's amazing.
So, obviously not a path you want to follow down that regard. Do you ever think about, the scary sides of fame in this business?
All the time. Yeah, I'm very conscious of it, and I'm terrified of it because I kind of, I watched the documentary with Amy, and I really resonated with her in the beginning, especially where she was talking about being famous and saying, like, all I'm really good for is making music, and the fame part terrifies me. And I was like, that's so me, because it does terrify me. But again, it's just the downside that comes with your job, and I think every job has that, and every career has that, and you're not always gonna love going to work every day. And as much as I love doing this, and as much as it's a passion for me, it's still a job, and you have to figure out how to deal with it. And I know it's a very abnormal way to live, but if it's what you want, you have to figure it out.
I think you're remarkable. You really seem to have a sense of, as I said, groundedness. Some steely determination that helps you cope. And you write, here the song here is about being a wallflower, but there's that inner confidence there.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, do you think?
My inner confidence, I really don't know. And I feel
Is
like
it your parents? Is it the way you were raised?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, I think, I am the way I am definitely because of my parents. They played a huge role in of course, my life.
And how did they instill that confidence, do you think?
Just by reminding us every day, like me and my brother, that, we need to work hard for whatever we want, and that we need to, we should be the best at everything we do. If we're going to choose something, be the best at it and give it our everything. And that was something that they would tell us from a really young age, and that's what I remember. So that, I guess, helped me. And both my parents are really determined. My mom came from another country. She didn't speak the language, and she started working at like 19 years old by herself in a foreign country. My dad has been working since he was like 11, and they just have that in them. So.
And I think you're passing on a lot of that strength to a lot of people listening to your music. I want to read a lyric from the song "Scars to Your Beautiful." Because you write about the pressures on young women in 2015. So here's a lyric for an example. She don't see her perfect. She don't understand she's worth it, or that beauty goes deeper than the surface. So to all the girls that's hurting, let me be your mirror, help you see a little bit clearer the light that shines within. What inspired that lyric?
Well, I think what inspired that lyric is pretty much what inspired the entire song, and that's just obviously personal experience, but things that I've seen, whether it's in the media, on TV, or people that I know. Just every female, I think, goes through this. Or I've never seen a female in the world. I've never met a person that is just fully happy with themselves or the way they look, and that's so sad. And it shouldn't be that rare, and it shouldn't be that hard to find that there's somebody or a woman who's confident in herself and loves the way she looks 100%, or loves the way she acts 100%. And it's because it's so rare. I just think it's something that needed to be talked about, and I wanted to shed light on that issue because people go through so many extremes. Like young women go through all these extremes just to feel confident, so they can walk outside and say, "I am happy with myself." And that's really sad. So I wanted to touch upon that and hopefully give girls a reminder that, that's not a good way to live.
Do you feel like you're a role model?
I think when you put out music like that, you're gonna inevitably become one. It's inevitable. But I'm ready to take that on, and I'm obviously still learning, and I'm a young 19-year-old girl who doesn't know much about life, but I can try to explain what I've learned so far.
I think you're probably fooling a lot of people there.
Yeah,
you know
trying.
more than perhaps you think. Tell me about right now. I want to ask you about your dad because we mentioned, early on he was apprehensive about you making
Yeah.
this your career. So fast forward to now. What's your dad think now?
Well, he travels with me everywhere, so he's definitely got to see like this side of me and the side of the industry that he's never seen before. So I think he really starting to realize how serious I am about it and how possible it is for me now that all these opportunities are coming about, and he's just really seeing what I'm capable of. I think he's really supportive of it, and I don't ever think that he thought that I wasn't capable. It's a hard thing to achieve. Not everyone gets this experience. So now that I guess he's seeing that it's possible, he's in it, so it's good.
Well, and he better hang on for the ride because things have been really fast so far, and it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down. What do you hope the next year looks like for you?
The next year, I hope that I'll be making more music. I would love to start working on more stuff for a new project or collaborating with new people. That'd be amazing. And I hope I'll still be doing this, just in a larger scale, I guess, and performing and reaching out to more people and still around. I just hope I'm still around by next year, just making more music.
Do you have a vision for what you want your career to be, or are we getting ahead of ourselves here? Stepping out of the moment.
Not really. I think you should always have a vision or a goal.
Okay.
I think
so what's the long-term vision?
long-term vision is to have music that people will still talk about in 20 years. If my name comes up in a conversation and like let's say someone's interviewing someone at this table 20 years from now, and if they reference me or one of my songs, that's a great thing. Yeah. That'd be cool.
You've got a good thing, lady. Keep
Thank
it
you.
up. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
sharing today. Great to talk with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.